Well, several changes are underway at Memphis International Airport, and this morning, the Memphis Shelby County Airport Authority Board of Commissioners voted to rename the airport after the late FedEx founder Fred Smith.
What a big day for MIA. Here, joining us now from Memphis International Airport is Glenn Thomas, Director of Strategic Marketing and Communications. So grateful you're here today.
Thank you for having me.
And what can you tell us about this renaming process?
Well, definitely it's an honor for us to be tasked with this renaming project, and certainly it is befitting of someone, an individual who had such an impact on the airport and our community and really the world.
Right. And it's a long, drawn-out process before it's actually said and done, right?
Yes, it's definitely not an overnight process. We have a lot of operational and logistical processes to go through. We've got to work with the FAA. There's certainly marketing and branding aspects to it. So we will begin this immediately, but also we want to do it right. So it's going to take a little bit of time.
Okay.
Of course, our airport code is MEM. Do you expect to stay that to stay the same?
We do expect that to stay the same. I can't say with absolute certainty, but history tells us with other airports, their codes have remained the same.
Okay. Let me ask one more question on that. On signage, you're going to have to change everything, right?
Yes, the signage is definitely a part of that process, and a part of the reason it's not an overnight kind of thing. That is one of the things we'll be looking at, and some of our branding, as well as many other aspects.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. Last year, the airport had a record number of passengers. How does travel at the airport this year compare to perhaps last year?
It's actually really, it's kind of flat. We're down just a little bit, but we are hoping that some of the new flight additions are going to bump that up. And really, that is reflective of the airlines. They have pulled back just a little bit with their capacity in recent months. The first quarter, at least, we just got a report today that the U.S. traffic was down about 1%. But we do think the new flight additions should help with that.
And what are they? What are some of the new flight additions?
Well, we've had 9 new flight announcements this year. We have a new airline, Breeze. They're currently flying to Raleigh-Durham and Tampa, and they'll add Pensacola later this year. Delta has added Austin. They'll add JFK in New York later this fall. We've got Spirit has added Detroit and Fort Lauderdale. And then we've got a couple of interstate routes where Southwest has already added Nashville. And later this year, Allegiant is going to add Knoxville. And if anyone's ever made that drive, you know that may be a welcome.
That would be nice, yeah.
That may be welcome for the students and parents.
Definitely, definitely. And there are also other upgrades happening as well. How do those upgrades create a better experience for passengers, do you think?
Well, it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. So I think a lot of people have probably run into some of the barricades, et cetera. But we are in the midst of a $700+ million project. It is going to be the largest construction project in the history of our airport. So the end goal is to make that terminal look like the concourse. So we have a new concourse, but we have a 60-plus-year-old departures and arrivals area. There are a lot of steps. It's a domino type of effect. Right now we're working on the outer drive, and we'll be moving Uber and Lyft later this year, closing part of that drive, and then working on the terminal in a couple of years to make it larger, make the security checkpoint larger and more efficient for passengers.
As long as a moving sidewalk from the parking garage to the terminal, I'm good with that.
We'll still have those.
Well, we want to stay in touch with you throughout this whole process and let our audience know about the changes as they come about, as you're the point person on communications with the airport. What are you most concerned about in this project? Obviously, there are a lot of moving parts to it, and there are some big changes that are going to happen, like when we go up for departures at our current terminal drop-off. That is going to change, right?
Yes, there's a lot of that that's going to change, and so far, passengers really haven't seen a lot of impact, right? They're needing to cross at crosswalks, and we've got some barricades, but the biggest concern really is probably that communication component. We've got to continue to pump out information. Recently, I think we let you know that we had closed one of the crosswalks outside of the departures area. That is reopened. All the crosswalks are open. But soon, there's going to come a point where we close that outer drive.
Right.
There's going to come a point when we're inside the terminal and we'll have to redirect people as we close certain areas. That's where we're going to need your help in passing that word along, because people just need to know where to go and how to do it most efficiently, and we're going to have to work really hard to continue that communication.
All right, so everybody stay tuned.
Absolutely, stay tuned.
Well, Glenn Thomas with Memphis International Airport, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing this news with us.
Thank you.
And congratulations on the name change this
Definitely.
morning. That was a big deal.
Thank you very much. We're really excited.
Well, after the break,